Evening, folks. Welcome to your match day preview for Cardiff City versus Leeds United. Back on the road again, and a trip over to Wales to see if we can get the ship back on track a little bit and head back towards 3 points and up into the important spots in the league table. 5 games in, we're getting to a sample set of results now to start diagnosing the season, but we're not quite at decision-making time yet with a lot of decisions that may be made down the line. Still a bit early in the season, but I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Andrew Stats Dalton to go through the preview. So we'll check in with Stats. How are you doing, mate? How are things?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Yeah, been a tough couple of weeks, but raring to go again. And yeah, looking forward to the trip to South Wales tomorrow, where, of course, we recorded a very impressive 3-0 victory at the Cardiff City Stadium last time out in January. So it's an opportunity, as you rightly said, to get back on the ship and against a team devoid of confidence. Errol Bullen under a lot of pressure and got 1 point from 15. And it's an opportunity for Leeds to go down to South Wales and get back-to-back away victories, of course, after the victory over Sheffield Wednesday back in August.
Yeah, Errol Bullet is coming under some serious pressure. No wins this season, 1 draw in the league, lost quite heavily, have had 5 goals put past them on 2 occasions this year between Cup and League, and lost to Derby as well, newly promoted Derby as well, which has not gone down particularly well. We'll go through the statistics for the game as well. We'll go through team news and we will go through the form guide as well as we get into this. John Redmond, you're getting in very early with this one. Very, very early. My thoughts if we lose tomorrow. We are not going to lose tomorrow, John.
4-0 Leeds.
Yep. Plenty of people in the house. We are live, by the way. And I will clarify this for people. Podcast is recorded and then put out as a live, but this is always live. This will always be live. So, yeah. Kimberly's optimistic about tomorrow. Yeah, we have to be. We have to be. If you look at the form guide and we go through that in more detail, you have to be. We'll go through the team news first and we'll rattle into this before we get to the deeper topic of the results. But we'll start off with team news coming out of Cardiff as they're the home side to start. Missing quite a few. Aaron Ramsey is out. Be out for a significant amount of time, at least 2 months with a hamstring problem. Jesper Dallard is also out, twisted ankle. Callum Robinson, Irish striker, is out with a groin problem. Keon Etete is out with a hamstring injury, and Isaac Doris is out with a hamstring problem as well. A lot of early season hamstring injuries starting to float around, and you wonder, is that player just getting up to speed? Because when we get to the Leeds ones, there's a couple in there as well. Definitely out of tomorrow's game is Daniel James, who is out with a hamstring injury. There you go. Told you. There you go. And he is expected to be out until after the international break in October. So at least another month before we see Dan James back on the park. Pat Bamford is a doubt tomorrow. He's not injured. He's been just working on getting his training levels up to speed. He could be included tomorrow, but you might not see him on the bench either. He's 50-50 on that one. Joe Rodon is a doubt for the game with a bit of a hip problem, as is Junior Firpo, who had a medial cruciate ligament issue during the week. People say MCL injuries and everyone goes, it's only an MCL. They're like medial cruciate ligament.
Yeah.
Dodgy one to be messing around. Posterior one's the worst one, and the anterior. But that's the you don't even mess around with cruciate ligaments. But he's a doubt for the game. Manor Solomon is a doubt with some back issues that he has had this week, and Max Vober has returned to training and only trained for 2 days this week, but could be involved. We did see Ruben Lapata White pictured in the videos this week, coming up from the 18 side as well, although he was misidentified by one of the publications as a different Leeds player, but it is Ruben Lapata White. So he's impressed last year with the under 18s. He's impressed in the game with 21s this year, and he's been training with the side there as well. So there's a few coming in. Daniel Farke did say, don't be surprised if everyone is available outside of Dan James for the game, that they were players that had missed a couple of sessions. So they could all still be fine. You could very clearly, very easily see an unchanged lineup tomorrow, which I'm not sure would please everybody's stats. But from a injury perspective and team news perspective, bringing those extra players in towards the end of the window may have been perfect timing, given up the potential doubts for tomorrow.
Yeah, I've kind of scribbled a bit of a team down, and it's difficult because we don't know, obviously, who's travelled and who hasn't travelled. Obviously, Bogle, as you rightly said, not Bogle, Rodon possibly injured, Firpo possibly injured as well. Solomon, again, is a doubt. So it's very difficult to know. It could be an unchanged team, but this is kind of what I've gone for. And I don't know if the listeners can sort of agree or disagree. Obviously, Melee in goal, Bogle will be at right back. If Rodon doesn't make it, do you then go with Ampadu and Strack at centre half? And if Firpo doesn't make it, do you go Schmidt? And then possibly a midfield two of Grueff and Tanaka? I don't know. and I've gone Nonto, Ramizani, Aronson, Joseph. It's very difficult to know how the
Or it could be
severity.
exactly the same team as the last game if everyone does get through it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just an example. If players aren't fully fit, come tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. when the team news does come out. So I think it's important that the players that have come in, the likes of Laji Ramazani and Tanaka and Schmidt, could be quite important now the next few weeks, because you are going to pick up injuries. There are a lot of games being played, not just with Leeds, but with internationals as well. You saw the situation with Martin Ødegaard with Norway and Arsenal. He looks out to be out for a few weeks. So, yeah, we're guessing here it could be an unchanged 11, or it could be a few changes. Now, from the game last week, if everybody is fit, the one change I'd personally like to see, I'd like to see Tanaka come in for a first Leeds United start, possibly Ilya Gruev, if that is the one change that we do make. So there are options there for Daniel Farke. And as I said off air, I don't like using the term must win in the middle of September. There's 40 odd games left. There's 120 points after tomorrow. So it's not a must win. I think for Farke's situation, I think he wants to see Leeds bounce back with a better performance than it was against Burnley, because I didn't think we showed enough in the second half against the Clamps at Ellen Road. So, yeah, I think it's an opportunity in South Wales against a team devoid of confidence to go and put performance up. And I personally think the players will be ready to go come 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's must win, not necessarily, but it's against who it is. And then the context of the week that we've had. And then what's coming up stats as well. So if I mean, the worst case scenario, we won't get into too much, but if the worst case scenario was to happen, Leeds do have games this month against Coventry, Sunderland, and Sheffield United straight after the international break. It's not an easy run of games either.
No. I think they've got Norwich in there as well, away from
Norwich as well,
in start of October. So, yeah, I think, as we sort of alluded to, that if you're a manager, and it doesn't matter if you're managing Leeds or Cardiff, whoever, if you've got to the playoff final the previous season and just missed out, and you've got 90 points the previous season and just missed out, the pressure will be on you, because that's just the nature of the beast, to go that one better the following season. Now, I'm not one for saying advocating to changing the manager, because I'm not like that. I'm always quite positive when it comes to Leeds United. I think the players will know they were frustrated against Burnley last time out, but they've got an opportunity here in a game that they really should be winning tomorrow. And if they can get a positive result down in Cardiff at the Cardiff City Stadium tomorrow afternoon, I think it'll put smiles back on faces. And in the build-up to another big game against a side in Mark Robins' Coventry City, who are improving all the time. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Always look forward to these games. And it's an opportunity to go and get 3 points tomorrow.
That is the word. Opportunity.
Yes.
There's an opportunity for Leeds to just get back on track tomorrow. I genuinely think this Leeds team will click and start running.
Yeah.
The sooner the better for us, because the teams that have come down who had similar situations to us last year are ahead of us.
Yeah.
So we're in our second year and we still have a bit of a hangover. And Farke did say during the week it was a difficult summer, even though it wasn't as bad as last year. It was still quite difficult. But he's got a decent side together. It has been said in the chat. I think I should throw this one up. It is a from Chris. Ideal time to bring in some new players. So this could be a very good opportunity for Ramazani to start if Solomon has got a bit of a knock. Could be a really good opportunity for Tanaka to get in there. Schmidt's a funny one for me, and it's been asked by Big Mally as well. Schmidt for Bogle. I think Bogle just needs a little bit more time. 5 games into his career, I think everyone's getting on his back way too early. We have, how many times have we looked silly by doing this in the past? You know, and then a player, good look at Junior Firpo right now as an example. Jayden Bogle needs to find his feet in this team. This team hasn't clicked together yet either. So then there's him gelling with the team that's there, but then that team has to gel together as well. So I think Jayden Bogle will be fine for Leeds. I just think he needs a bit more time to settle in. I wouldn't be judging Bogle's time at Leeds till 10, 15 games into it. He's not been bad. He was exposed in the first game he played. I thought he was okay last week. He's getting pulled out for the mistake for the goal, or for the defendant for the goal, but he's in a no-win situation in that scenario as well, and is a victim of the scenario that plays out in front of him. So I think Bogle just needs time. The Schmidt one's an interesting one for me, though. Stats. Leeds said when they brought all the players in, they saw Schmidt as backup for Firpo.
Yes.
As left back, sorry, as right back, for Bogle at right back, But
Yes.
Byram for Firpo at left back, despite the fact that Schmidt is historically a left
Yes.
back.
Yes.
And then we saw the change the weekend.
Yes.
Firpo off, Byram on.
Yes.
Where do you sit with this? Because I'm confused with this one.
I think the substitutions, probably left a lot of people dazed and confused a little bit. I think he's trying. Look, it's early in the season, and I think those games are probably. I don't want to say experiment because that's what kind of pre-season friendlies for, but he tried it. It didn't work out, and lessons will probably be learned from the game against Burnley last time out. So, but I think the other side, I think versatility is important. That Byram and Schmidt can play right back and left back, and you probably need those options because if Firpo is potentially injured tomorrow, obviously we don't know until we get team news at 2:00 tomorrow afternoon, then it probably will be an opportunity for Schmidt. Personally, I'd rather have Schmidt in there than Byram, because Schmidt is naturally, as you rightly say, is a left fullback and Byram's a right fullback. But if they can both play there, then it's whoever obviously Daniel Farker sees as the best option to play there. But it's nice to have those options because in the past, when Junior's been injured, we've not really had anyone to come in and fill the boots there really for him. So yeah, interesting substitutions I think last week, but I think it was just one of those days. It kind of felt flat a little bit. I think the highlight of the day was seeing the American film star whose name escapes me.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell up at Ellen Road last week.
Elf.
They'll put the elf himself. But look, the season is in its infancy. It's 5 games in. I'm going to go back. I'm going to give a stat here. Back in season 1992-1993, Manchester United were the first team to ever be sat bottom of the Premier League after, I think, 2 games. They got 1 point in the third game in a 1-1 draw against Ipswich, and then they went on to have the success that they did over a 42-game season, won the Premier League, and the rest is history. Nothing is decided in mid-September. You can't get relegated in mid-September. You can't win the league in mid-September. Look at Sunderland's result at Home Park last week in the regular and Wayne Rooney. Everyone had that down as an away banker. And Plymouth and Morgan Whittaker have other ideas and go and win the game. The league is very, very tight. It's an awful lot of football to be played. Look at the Stoke City situation. They kick off against Hull City. They're seeing in the bet 365 shortly. They've sacked Steven Schumacher. They won 2 games, and they brought in the former Huddersfield Town coach, Nelson Palach, I think it was at Norwich this week. So, yeah, I'm not one of these fans. I don't even look at a league table after 5 games. It doesn't really take shape till early October. There's a lot of football to go. I understand the frustrations that people are saying, look back to last year, it was the start that cost us. The difference for me is I think the league is weaker this year. There's no, in my opinion, I might be wrong, I might be able to take my words, come what may. I don't feel there's a runaway team, and I think that's been shown in the first 4 or 5 games of the season. So there's an awful lot of football to be played between now and May. It's 5 games in. We've literally reached one hand of fixtures. So yeah, I'm not concerned. I think tomorrow will probably tell us a little bit more about the players' mentality, and I think they'll actually go there and put performance in tomorrow in South Wales. But yeah, lots of football to be played. I think being out the Carling Cup or the Carabao Cup, should have said, probably done us a favour, not having midweek games, and it's given Farker and the coaching staff an opportunity on the training field to get some ideas down and have no players away on international duty until the start of October after the Sunderland game in a few weeks' time. So yeah, I'm always positive. I think it's a good opportunity tomorrow. We're probably playing the right team at the right time. And I think we'll add to Errol Bullant's pressure, who, ironically, if he was to lose his job tomorrow, the Turkish manager, his first game was against Leeds United back in August 2023. Yeah. His last game could also be against Leeds United in September 2024.
We had a habit last year of playing managers and then them being sacked after we played them. So maybe we're starting that trend again this year.
Very much so.
Real quick one for everyone, just big shout out, Danny at Not Another Leeds podcast. There is a redirect at 7:30 when we finish here over to Not Another Leeds podcast. They will have Danny's with James and Kev, and you'll get Evie and Lockie, I believe, are on tonight with the guys as well. So if you like your podcast with a bit of fun on a Friday evening, go check out the guys. And again, massive thanks to Danny for the intro for the podcast as well, because he did that for me and I really appreciate it. So go check him out. It'll automatically bring you over there at 7:30 and say hi to the folks, me. Right, let's get into some form guide stuff. Cardiff City sitting bottom of the table. They have played 5 games, 1 draw, 4 defeats in the league so far. They have lost 2 cup matches as well as that. They opened the season with a 2-0 home defeat to Sunderland. They then travelled to Burnley and got beaten 5-0 pretty comprehensively by a very different looking Burnley team than we saw last weekend. Then they went away to Swansea, drew 1-1 with them. That's their only point on the board this year. And then a home defeat to Middlesbrough 2-0 in that game, and then followed up an away defeat to Derby County. Leaves them sitting rock bottom of the table with just 1 point in the bag and trying to kickstart their season. From a Leeds perspective, sitting in 9th in the table, and of all the drama and all the worry and everything being on fire, a win for Leeds tomorrow with results going their way could see Leeds jump to 3rd position in the table, and everyone will be a little bit more calm. 5 games played, 2 draws, 2 wins, 1 defeat. That's all there has been so far. As I said, win could put Leeds in 3rd position should everything go our way. We've got some statistics to get stuck into. Stats. That's why we're here. That's why everyone comes. They don't want to come and listen to me. They want to hear you talk about statistics. So come on, what we got of interest for
I've not
tomorrow?
had too much time to look at things.
That's
I'm looking for back-to-back victories to the Cardiff City Stadium in the league for the 2nd time. I think in the last 9 seasons. We did it in 2015, 2016 when Solomon Dukara and Mirko Antonucci scored back in, I think, March 2016. And then we won there. Gary Monk's Leeds United went to the Cardiff City Stadium back in September 2016. And Pablo Hernandez got his first ever goal for Leeds United in a 2-0 victory. Chris Wood, a penalty. That was an early kick-off live on Sky Sports. We then lost 3-1 the following season with Neil Warnock as Cardiff City managed, a bit like Neil Warnock derby, really, as he managed both sides. Cardiff went up that year. That was a poor performance. That sort of set the Leeds on a downward spiral. Then obviously they lost in 1920, the first game after lockdown, with no fans in there, so wasn't the best performances. But of course they won there 3-0 last season. I think Dan James was amongst the goals, as was Jorginho Ruta. I think also missed a penalty in that particular game. So looking for back-to-back victories at Cardiff, looking back-to-back away victories in the league, I think for the first time since March. I think one of them was against Sheffield Wednesday as well, so hopefully it will repeat itself. And we've actually not got too bad a record, funnily enough, against Cardiff. Ninian Park, we had an atrocious record. I'm pleased they kind of left Ninian Park, because you have to go back to February 1984 for the last time Leeds United actually won at Ninian Park, and that was thanks to a George McCluskey winner. But tomorrow for me is a bit of a poignant occasion. A few weeks ago, we had the tragic news that Sol Bamba sadly passed away. We don't know what happened. I know we had cancer, didn't he, at the time? And, 39
Sounds like
years
a return of it.
Yeah, same age as me, and it's like, whoa. And I was kind of like everybody taken aback by that. He scored 4 goals in 56 games for Leeds United, and I thought it was a bit of a cult hero at Ellen Road. He's also a cult hero at Cardiff City, and they're planning tributes for him. There he is. That's the programme cover tomorrow, I believe. I think that's a wonderful programme cover done by the Cardiff City programme editors, and he was part of the Cardiff City side that won promotion back to the Premier League in 2017-18, and the tributes have been absolutely magnificent to Sol. He scored probably one of my favourite goals for Leeds in a 2-1 victory of Wolverhampton Wanderers back in April 2016, and half followed the ball into the back of the net for side the Kop end. So yeah, it's still hard to comprehend that somebody so young has left us and only finished retiring a couple of years ago as well. So it'll be very poignant tomorrow, and I think all fans, both Cardiff fans and Leeds United fans, will be getting behind the tribute as well. And just to echo my thoughts, that in an era that was probably kamikaze for Leeds United under sort of Massimo Cellino and what have you, came under Neil Redfern, and the first person to actually text when I found out the news was Redders. And just very horrible news to take at such a young age, and he leaves a young wife as well. But I thought, and I've written about him in the Leeds programme last week, the smiling captain who gave 110%, and you knew what he was getting from Sol Bamba, that even in dark times he was sort of a shining light in dark times. So, yeah, it's a big day for the Bamber family tomorrow, and it's one that I'm sure all fans of Leeds United and Cardiff will get behind at the City Stadium 3:15 tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, it'll be an emotional day for a lot of people, but a fantastic captain for Leeds United during a really bad time for Leeds, and a brilliant captain at Cardiff as well. The times that he did captain them there, as well as everywhere he went, natural born leader. So Bamba, and a lovely man. As I said before, and I've said on the channel, I met the guy, and there's a photograph floating around somewhere of him as well. Was very lucky. I wanted to get a photograph. I was talking to him and I wanted to get a picture, but he brought Tumani Diaguarga, Jordan Brutaka all into the picture as well, and stuck me in the middle of them all. And he was like, "We'll all get a picture together." And he was lovely. He was lovely. And that was in Abbottstown in Dublin when they were over here for the pre-season tour under Gary Monk. Did get to speak to him as Massimo Cellino that day as well, hanging around by his Land Rover was pulled into the back of the pitch, which nobody else does, by the way, because where the FAI's grounds are up in Abbottstown, you park your car and you have a bit of a walk then to get down to where the pitches are. And but not for Massimo Cellino, whose 4x4 was up on the grass behind the goal. So there you go. That's Massimo for you. But yeah, crazy time. But rest in peace, Sol Bam. And hopefully the tributes are fantastic tomorrow. No doubt that they will be. Before we wrap up, just a couple of things to rattle through for those who are worried about it. Leeds have kept 7 clean sheets, by the way, away from home in the league in 2024. So since the turn of the year, they've managed to keep 7 clean sheets. And Cardiff's last 5, as we've already said, isn't particularly good. And their record against Leeds isn't fantastic. And for the Daniel Farker doubters, he did go and get a win last year at Cardiff, which hadn't happened for a while before that. So, he's got a win under his belt against Cardiff. Let's go and get 3 points, smash them, and get on with the rest of the season. Folks, we're going to wrap it up there. Stats, anything before we finish up?
Yeah, just a couple more stats. Our last 3 o'clock away victory, funny enough, was at Cardiff back in January 2024. And amazingly, tomorrow is only the 3rd Saturday, 3 o'clock league game for Leeds United of 2024. That it just shows how Sky sort of dictate all the fixtures. So yeah, let's go and do it again. Let's go and get a double over Cardiff City, and I think it's an opportunity, as I rightly say, to get back on the saddle and get smiles back on faces at Ellen Road.
Yep, fingers crossed we can go and do that. I will be back not straight after the game tomorrow because Jess has another hen. So I have to bring Jess to her second hen tomorrow evening. So I will get on probably about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I'll do an instant kind of initial review, and then we'll have the longer review with Jerry and Lockie hopefully earlier in the week, and then we're back to normal again. But fingers crossed, 3 points. There is the countdown to kickoff 45 minutes before kickoff tomorrow as well. You can check that out if you want to come in and have a little chat and a cup of coffee before we watch Leeds kick off their game. So, folks, that'll be it for us. Massive thanks as always for supporting the channel, and I will talk to you soon. See ya.